2019 marked 200 years since George Eliot, Nuneaton's very own local hero, was born, and to celebrate, the town and local communities were host to a huge range of activities in her honour throughout the year. From outdoor theatrical performances of her work to an up-close and personal evening with the lady herself. The celebrations culminated in one of her original manuscripts being exhibited for local fans to get a rare glimpse of in Nuneaton Museum and Art Gallery. This is George Eliot's Bicentenary Year video diary. Celebrations began in the spring with a festival of arts, which invited people of all ages to take part in George Eliot-inspired music and craft competitions. The piano class was tasked with playing a piece of music written during the period of George Eliot's life, as she herself was a keen pianist. There was a speech and drama competition, featuring a reading of the novelist's work, won by Millie Hanson, who recited the inspirational Count That Day Lost.
One glance most kind, that fell like sunshine where it went, then you may count that day well spent. In this poem, it is a lesson. It's teaching us to always be nice and kind.
For those who wanted to learn more about the famed writer, Nuneaton Museum and Art Gallery hosted the exhibition Becoming George, The Unexpected Life of George Eliot, which gave an insight to the life journey of the young Mary Ann Evans. The exhibition even included some of the clothes worn by the author. In June, English scholar and TV personality Leslie Smith brought George Eliot to life with her Meet the Woman live show, where she performed as the famed writer to an enthralled audience. Leslie, a historian who regularly characterises famous historical figures, researched all aspects of Eliot's life so that she could give a full perspective of her to those in attendance.
Tonight, I'm lucky enough to play George Eliot, the great Mary Ann Evans from Nuneaton, and my job is to bring her to life as best I can.
Do you realise what a slavery it is, what an imprisonment it is, to have a man's genius locked into a woman's body?
August saw theatre group Sudden Impulse perform an adaptation of Eliot's classic, Mr. Gilfil's Love Story, in an amazing open-air performance at Arbory Hall, the estate on which the writer was born. It was a standout event, the summer sunshine doing its bit to ensure a memorable evening for all. In September, George Eliot went digital with the launch of an immersive video walking tour around Nuneaton Town Centre. This interactive quotation trail enables visitors to follow a specially created route, which showcases some of the locations that the world-renowned author frequented during her early life. Using smartphones to scan markers along the route, participants are able to trigger video performances by local schoolchildren, which sees them interpret some of Eliot's most impactful quotes. November 22nd was a very special date in 2019, as it was the birthday of Mary Ann Evans, who famously went on to write under the pen name of George Eliot. She would have been 200 years old, and of course, a cake was needed to mark the occasion. This followed a wreath-laying by the Deputy Mayor and Town Crier at the novelist's statue in Nuneaton Town Centre, whilst the Mayor attended wreath-laying ceremonies at the novelist's grave in Highgate Cemetery and at her memorial in Westminster Abbey. Nuneaton Museum and Art Gallery played a huge part of the Bicentenary Year, featuring a number of collections with items owned by the great lady herself. At the end of 2019, they exhibited Scenes of Eliot's Life, which was devoted to illustrations of her life and work. Perhaps the jewel in the crown of the Bicentenary Year celebrations was an exhibit loaned to the museum at the beginning of 2020 from the British Library. An actual manuscript of her book Middlemarch, written in George Eliot's own hand, was put on display at the Riversley Park-based venue. This provided a real rare opportunity to get up close and personal with her incredible work, and a fitting opportunity for the people of George Eliot's hometown to celebrate what would have been her 200th year.
It's been a fantastic year to celebrate George Eliot's bicentenary. There's been loads of events. Hopefully you've been able to get out to enjoy some of them, and I also hope that you're inspired to keep learning about George Eliot, Nuneaton's most famous daughter.